Hi, I'm Dawn. I'm your astrologer, and I'm here to talk to you about the upcoming new moon in Cancer. A new moon is always a time to set our new intentions. It's a new cycle, a new lunar cycle, and so this will be the second new moon in Cancer in a row. We had the first new moon in Cancer on June the 21st, which brought with it a solar eclipse. And then we had a lunar eclipse at the full moon, and now we're at the next new moon, which is also in Cancer. And so with that, this triggers the themes, the Cancerian energies of that eclipse season. Things around the family, the mother, the nurturing, where we feel comfortable in our homes, and what we value, and what needs to be shifted out, what has changed, what do we no longer value. And so these themes are coming up again. This is a very important time for us to really examine our safe havens and seek to create our safe havens. There's a lot of really heavy, aggressive energy going on in the background. So we have Mars, which has moved into his home sign of Aries, the cardinal, like I am energy, that is also associated with the planet of war and aggression. And so, you see that coming up with people because this is an energy that doesn't like to be restricted. And the other side of that is in the background, we have the Capricorn stellium, which has really been going on since January the 12th. It started to form in December of 2019. And so that has been a mix of planets, namely Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. Pluto, the great dissolver. Jupiter, that expands everything it touches, and Saturn, Lord of Karma, Father Time, rules and restrictions. So Saturn is the reason we feel that restrictive energy. And all three of these planets are in retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn, which represents the daily structures of our lives, those systems which are being crumbled currently. And so the reason we really right now feel a little unsettled in our freedom and we feel that restrictive energy is because during this new moon, Saturn is directly opposing this energy. So we have all of this stellium in Capricorn, and we have the sun in Cancer, all right? And we have the new moon in Cancer. So the sun is really illuminating all of this energy, and it's opposing those three planets, that dismantling process, and it's directly opposite Saturn, that restrictive energy. And so we feel that. We feel that a lot on many levels. There's a lot of chaos around us and a lot of heaviness. And so, what do we do about that? What is the promise in the aspects? Where does the silver lining occur? And it always is provided, especially, in the form of astrology. We can find those tools, those signs. And in this case, it's in the Cancer new moon. So Cancer is the divine mother. It is ruled by the moon. So the moon is exalted here. This is an energy of loving and of nurturing. And so when all this chaos is going on around us, this is a message of where do we find our safe haven? Where do we find that place of nurturing? The divine mother that holds the baby to her and cuddles it and feeds it, right? And so which part of us is being activated? Are we nurturing? Are we being nurtured? And so those themes are coming up around our security and our sense of stability within our home. Oftentimes that sacred space within our home life is really the only place that we can find that sanctuary amidst the chaos. And that is exactly what is being shown to us right now, is that, that is the one place, our homes, where we really can kind of control the energy and the vibration of it amidst all the chaos. So we can create a safe haven, and we're encouraged to do that. We're encouraged to nurture ourselves and really deep dive into our emotions and what we need and what we feel. And, water signs are very emotional. And let's keep in mind also that Mercury is in Cancer, and Mercury just came out of retrograde. So this is about having the conversations, having the deep, difficult, emotional conversations around what do I need to feel nurtured? What do I need to feel secure, especially in my home? And also with that is listening, having that part of the conversation, hearing others, what do you need to feel nurtured and secure in your home, and how can I help create that safe haven, that sacred space for you? And so this is a time of really digging deep, not so much on the external, but the really interpersonal, internal. We're talking about Mars and Mercury. These are interpersonal planets, right? And so even though we feel that the outward planets, the big themes, with Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter in the background, this is about finding our own sacred space, our own calming force, being the power that we need, being the peace that we need within us, and maybe providing that for others that are in our family unit. And so that is the energy of this new moon. And, it always is a time where, we set new intentions, and we look to the aspects because, we can easily identify where the chaos is. And, astrology always points the way out, and with any difficulty, the solution is always opposite the chart. And so with those 3 planets dismantling our daily structures to rebuild a new life, which has been going on for quite some time now, we're not surprised by it. We're very aware at this point of what's going on in our world, and that we're in a huge change of reality and how we function in our daily lives. And we're being conditioned and learning to co-create the lives that we want moving forward. We are co-creators in this. And so it's really a time of aligning ourselves with our values and what comforts us and what nurtures us on a spiritual level, on a human level, and how we can help that be cultivated in others. And so if all of this chaos is going on down here in Capricorn, the other end of the spectrum is that Cancerian divine mother, on the opposite end of it. And so this is a time that, it's important for us to feel, emotionally safe. It's important for us to be aware of how we feel in the midst of things that trigger our fears. And, look to the highest vibration of an energy that's being expressed in our world to be a solution. The North Node also is a place that we look to for our future, for our trajectory, our path. And the North Node and the South Node were in Cancer and Capricorn, and have recently just shifted into Gemini and Sagittarius. And so Gemini is that practical application of the things that we know, that spiritual understanding of what to do, our spiritual toolbox, So Sagittarius, the other end of that, the South Node, the things that we really want to leave behind, is that fanatical, almost fixed fundamental belief in a philosophy or a religion or an idea around anything, whether it's to wear a mask or to not wear a mask, or open up, do not open up, or whatever we think is the underlying energy behind everything that's happening. So that Sagittarian fundamental belief system that can be very fixed is really something to be cautious of right now, because if we get too attached into that, then that Mars aggression can feed into that, and we want to fight to prove our point. And so really, the solution is in the North Node, and that is in Gemini, and that is, exploring all of the other aspects. It's allowing someone else to have their own beliefs. saying to ourselves, they can be wrong if they want to, or they can do it that way if they want to. They don't have to believe like I do, and giving others that freedom, to figure it out for themselves or not figure it out. And so that Gemini North Node is being open-minded, not being so fixated on what we know or what we think we know, because really we don't know much of anything right now. Nothing is as it seems. We still have a lot of planets in retrograde. They're slowly coming out of retrograde. Venus has moved out of retrograde in Gemini. Mercury has moved out of retrograde in Cancer. They're still in their shadow phase and will be until the end of July. And then we have this kind of window of opportunity, end of July, August, and into the beginning of September, and then Mars will go retrograde in September. So we have a little month and a half, 2 months there, a little reprieve to kind of feel like we're getting some forward momentum, right? And so that'll be a nice breath of fresh air in all of this. So, just some things that I've learned is that, if we pay attention to the polarities, to the duality of energies here, to the higher and lower vibration, if we can just find that balance somewhere in between, that axis of that safe stance of balance within us, where we are not attached to an idea so much that it becomes a judgment, right? And adapting those Cancer themes of being the nurturer or the mother, or allowing ourselves, to be nurtured and be cared for, right? It's the that exchange, that reciprocity of nurturing. And so I hope that this gives you some comfort, some clarity, and some validation for everything that you're feeling and everything that's going on right now. And I wish you the happiest of new moons.